Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syamil Hadi bin Nasaruddin. My metric number is 2019400618. And so for today, I will make a video for the thermofluid laboratory, which is the title is the impact jet, which is the experiment for the number 3. So let's get started. So now we will move to the objective of the experiment. So for the first objective is to measure the reaction force produced by the impact of a jet of water onto various target burner surface. So we will use 4 type of burner surface, which is the 180 degree, 120 degree, 13 degree and hemisphere surface. So next is to investigate and determine the force required to keep a target at a datum level where it is subjected to the impact of a water jet. So in the experiment, we will increase the weight so that we will see the datum level on the, and we will keep the target in a datum level. And next is to compare and analyze the experimental result with the theoretical calculated values. Now we move to the apparatus. So for the first, we can see first is the pointer of the jet apparatus, and the second is the spring tension adjuster. This function we will use when we increase the weight. Third is the wing nut. Wing nut is used when we want to open and close the closet. Next is 4 is the interchangeable target, and 5 is breast weight. 6 is weight carrier. This will use when we increase the weight. 7 is the weight platform. 8 is the spring. 9 is the screw nut. Screw nut same as the function of the wing nut, which used to close and open the closet. And 10 is the interchangeable nozzle, where this nozzle we will change after we end every experiment. And lastly is 11 is the water inlet. Water inlet we will use when we start the experiment. Water inlet we will connect to the jet apparatus, so that when we open it, the water will come in and make a jet impact on the nozzle. Next, we move to the safety procedure. First, make sure switch off after experiment. I'm sorry, there is a mistake. We must make sure the switch is switched off and on after experiment, and make sure when we open it, our hand must dry and not wet, because when we touch the switch when our hand wet, it will make I'm sorry, it will make a few problem. Next is wear safety boot and lab coat. Third is make sure close cover tightly. This is important because when we do not close the cover tightly, the water will get out from the jet apparatus. So next we move to the procedure impact jet. So this is the nozzle that we will use. First is flat 180 degree. B is the 120 conical target. C is the hemisphere target inward, and the last is the 30 degree flat target. So for the first, we will open the weight platform by unscrewing the screw nut and screwing the wing nut. As we can see, lecturer in the video is unscrewing the screw and the wing nut. So next is attach the 5mm nozzle onto the bottom vertical shaft and hemisphere target vent onto top vertical shaft. So as we can see from the picture before, at this point there is no nozzle, and then when we open it, we will change to the nozzle that we want to use, such as first we will want to use the hemisphere target vent. So next is we will close the wake platform by unscrewing wing nut and screwing the nut, same as the number 1 procedure. And next we will position the wake carrier onto the wake platform. So 5 is adjust the spring tension adjuster to ensure the distance of 20mm between the nozzle and the target vent by first pressing the spring until the target vent touch the nozzle. As you can see, we will adjust the nozzle when we put the wake, and we must make sure the distance between the nozzle and the target vent is 20mm before we start the experiment. Next is number 6. We move the pointer. Sorry. For number 6, we will move the pointer so that it aligns to the wake platform. This is the pointer. So you can see at the pointer we will where we want to put the wake. And next is 7. Release the spring and adjust the spring tension adjuster to ensure the distance between the wake platform and the pointer is 20mm, and then record the value as h. So after we press, we release the spring and we will calculate the height of the spring tension before we put the wake, and then move the pointer so that it is aligned to the wake platform that is floating in mid position. As you can see, after we put the pointer on the distance that we want, then we can see the pointer must align to the wake platform before we start the experiment. So next is the procedure number 9. Turn on the pump and establish the water flow by steadily opening the bench control valve until it fully open. So make sure before we touch the switch, make sure our hand did not in the wet condition, because we will use the water. So some student will did not take advantage on this safety procedure. So it will make the problem to our lecturer and ourselves. So we can see first the lecturer turn on the pump, and then it control the valve by slowly feed in the water to the impact jet. So next is 10. The target vent will now be deflected by the impact of the jet at wake onto the wake carrier until the wake platform is again floating mid position. So when we open the water, the impact jet will push the target vent into upward. So we will add the wake until the position of the wake carrier is same on the pointer before. So next is we will measure and record the flow rate together with the corresponding value of wake on the wake carrier, and observe the form of the deflected jet and note its shape. As you can see, we will take the corresponding value and we will note the value in the table. So next is 12. We will reduce the weight of the wake carrier instead at maintain balance of wake platform by regulating the flow rate for a few steps, each time recording the value of flow rate and wake in the wake carrier. And as we can see, we will move the weight step by step and
and
then
then we will
slowly
slowly
turn
turn
off
off
the
the
valve
valve
until
until
the
the
water
water.
stop. And
And
third
third
is
is
close
close
the
the
control valve and switch off the pump. As you can see, the lecturer switch off the valve and switch off the pump. And lastly, repeat the experiment with different target vents and nozzle. So we will, after we will done for the first, which the hemisphere, we will switch the target
target
vent
fan
and
nozzle
nozzle with the different,
is
such as the nozzle we will use
100,
180 degree,
120,
120 degree, and the 30 degree, and
and
we
we
will
will
use
use
the flat
flat
target,
target,
conical
conical
target,
target,
and
and
the
the
fat
fat
target.
target.
So to change
Since
the
the
target
target
vents and the nozzle,
will
we will
will
do the same
same
as before. We will open
in
the weight
weight
platform
of
by
by
unscrewing
unscrewing
the screw
screw
nut
nut
and
the
the
and
unscrewing
screwing
the
the
wing nut. So after the
the
target change,
this
we will close the weight platform by
by
unscrewing
unscrewing
the wing nut and screwing
the
the screw nut. So it is different
screen
for
for
the
the
for
for
the
the
two things,
footing,
which
which
is
is
the
the
wing
wing
nut
nut
and
and
the
the
screwing
screwing
and the
and the
screw
screw
nut.
nut.
We will start to do my table for the experiment. So in this experiment, we will have egg table, which is for the target inward hemisphere, target cone 120 degree, 180 degree, and 30 degree. And the other one, which is the area of the nozzle, one we will use 1.9635 exponent 5
5.
meter square, and the other
Other
one
one
we
we
will
will
use
use 5
5.0265 exponent 5 meter square. So we will start do the table. So we will need 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So first weight we will use the weight in the example given by the lecturer, and the volume we will use 4 liter, and the time we will use the example too, and for the average time also we will use from the example, and for the flow rate, which is the Q, we will use the formula volume over time. So the volume we will use the volume given, and the time we will use the average time. So next is the nozzle velocity. For the nozzle velocity, we will use the equation Q equal Vn An, which is the Vn is the nozzle velocity, and the An is the nozzle area. So we will use the formula Vn equal to Q over An, which is the flow rate divided by the average. Divide the nozzle area. So for the haze, we will use the example data from the lecturer given, and the impact velocity we will use the formula Vi square equal to Vn square minus 2gh. Vi is the impact velocity, Vn is the nozzle velocity, g is the gravity force, h is the height. So we will use that equation. Next is the theoretical force. For the theoretical force, we will use the equation F equal to mg, and for the experimental force, we will use the equation F equal to P Q Vi times with 1 minus cos theta. So for the P is the density of the experiment, which is 1000, the density of water. And next is the Q. We'll know that the Q is the flow rate. Vi, we will use the impact velocity. So for the 1 minus cos theta, the cos theta has given the example, such as the cos theta for the inward hemisphere, we will use the number is the negative 1. And next is for the 120 degree, we will use 0, and next is 120, and 30 degree, we will use 0.5. I'm sorry, before it's not the 120, it is 180 degree, we will use 0. So after finish all the table, which table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4, table 5, table 6, table 7 and table 8, then we move to do the graph for each table. So we will do the graph for the experimental first versus theoretical, where the experimental will be the vertical and the theoretical will be the horizontal. So first we will do the graph. We will select 2D line, then we select data, add series name. We will use then the series. We will select the experimental, then for the horizontal we will use theoretical. So this is the graph that we get. So we can see the graph is like this. Then we will add the set title. So the above will be theoretical. This one will be experimental. So first we will need so we will use this one because we will need the data will be 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, which the increment will increase 0.5 each data. So this is the table for the this is the graph for the table 2, then for the table 3, table 4, table 5, table 6, table 7 and table 8. So this is all the result and the graph for this experiment. So lastly is the conclusion. First, we successfully achieved the objective of this experiment, which is the measure the reaction force produced by the impact of a jet water onto various targets when surface. Second is to investigate and determine the force required to keep a target at the level it is subjected to the impact of water jet. And the third is to compare and analyze the experimental result with the theoretical calculated value. So next is the theoretical and the experimental result. As we can see in this video, the result of the theoretical and the experimental is very different because there is some error in it. So I think this error came from the mistake from the experiment. So some of the error I think that mistake in this experiment is on the observation at the weight, because sometimes people or students did not reset the platform onto the height that we need. So when they put the weight, they did not reset the weight platform into
the
the
height
height that
that
given
when
before
before
experiment.
experiment.
So
So
with
with
that,
that,
the
the
result
result
for
for
the
the
experimental
experimental
will
get
get different
different
and
and
have
have
an
an
error
error
on
on
it.
it.
So
So
next
next
is
is
the
the
application
application
that
that
we
we
can see of on
on
the
the
water
water
jet.
jet.
I'm
I'm
sorry
sorry
for
for
the
the
impact
impact
jet.
jet.
So the
The
impact
impact
jet
jet
we
we
can
can
see
see
in
in
the
the
water
water
jet
jet.
water. So
So as we can,
as
as
we
we
know,
know,
the water jet
jet
came
came
from
from
the
the
pressure,
pressure,
but
but
that
that
not
not
just
just
it.
it.
As
As
we
we
can
can
see
see
on
on
the
the
water
water
jet
jet
nozzle,
nozzle,
we
we
can
can
see
see
the
the
nozzle
nozzle
is
is
very
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 small.
small.
So
So
the
the
nozzle
nozzle,
is the
the
function
function
of
of
the
the
nozzle
nozzle
is
is
to make
make
the
the
pressure
pressure
high.
high.
As
As
we
we
know,
know,
when
when
we
we
do the
the
experiment,
experiment,
when
when
we
we
change
change
the
the
nozzle for for every
every
experiment,
experiment,
we
we
can
can
see
see
the
the
pressure
pressure
of
of
the
the
water
water
is
is
different
different
for
for
the
the
every
every
nozzle.
nozzle.
So
Lastly,
lastly, I
I
suggest
suggest
some
some
improvement
improvement
on the experiment.
experiment.
First,
First,
we need
it
to do
the
this
this
experiment
experiment
for 3
three
or
of
4 people,
people,
because we
we
need
need
a
a
high
high
observation,
observation
because
because
when
when
we
we
do
do
mistake
mistake
in
in
this
this
experiment,
experiment,
there
there
will
will
be
be
an
an
error,
error,
such
such
as
as
when we put the
the
weight
weight
and
and
we calculate
calculate
the
the
data,
data.
we
We
move the
the
valve
valve
water
water
when
when
we
we
open,
open,
and
and
all
all
the
the
technique
technique
we
we
must
must
do correctly.
correctly.
So
So
we
we
will
will
need
need
to
to do
do that
that
with 3
three
or
or
4
four,
people to make
make
it
it
easier
easier
and
and
perfectly.
perfectly.
So
So
that
that
it's
is
for
for
this
this
experimental
experimental
video,
video,
which
which
is
is
the
the
experimentary for the fluid
experimental
mechanic laboratory,
laboratory,
which
which
is
is
the Impact
Impact
Jet
Jet
F3.
Assalamualaikum
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.